Hey guys, welcome to today's video. My name is Sarah, and before you continue watching this video, make sure you go down below to that little red button where it says subscribe and make sure you click it, and also make sure you turn on the notifications so you get notified every time I upload. Okay, now today's video is going to be about the collab makeup brand with Sally's Beauty. I did my research to make sure I knew the information about this brand. I actually found out about it and kind of heard about it from Saaammage, I think that's how you say her name. She's on YouTube. I will link her channel below, that way you can go check her out and she has even more information. But she is one of the beauty influencers that actually helped create this brand. So there are 8 influencers if I'm correct. I think there's 8 that worked on creating this brand together with Sally Beauty, and I think that's super cool. So they worked really hard to try to make sure that the products could work for, you know, a lot of different people, and I think that's awesome. The prices range from $6 to $15, I think is what she said, which is awesome because who doesn't love affordability? And right now it is buy 2 get 1 free on the collab brand. I don't know how long that lasts, but that is what I just did. I got the foundation, the primer, and the concealer. So we're not gonna be trying everything out. If I love these, I'm definitely gonna be going back to try more things. I was super impressed with the packaging, the display, everything about it. When I went to Sally's, I wanted to buy all of it. I controlled myself. So these are the things that I got to try. And look at this, guys. Look how cool the packaging is. I haven't even undone it yet here in the back, but I'm pretty sure that it's a pump. Yeah, this is a pump. So the foundation I picked up is Bright Spark Radiant Foundation. It is, I got the shade Tan 05. Just kind of eyeball the color, so hopefully it works. I mean, I think that looks pretty close to what I wear. So the primer I got is the Fundamental. This is their smoothing primer. They had a radiant primer, I think they had a hydrating primer, a mattifying primer, and then this, but I wanted to try the smoothing. I was just curious, and I might end up going back and getting the hydrating to try as well. And then they had like 3 different concealers, but I thought this one looked the most like what I kind of normally use. This is honey / almond is the color, and this is the No Flaws liquid concealer. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to try these products. I am going to be using another primer with the Fundamental because I always use a hydrating primer as well as smoothing primer. If you watch some of my previous videos, I normally use the Benefit Professional Primer as my smoothing primer, and I use the Becca hydrating Backlight primer as my hydrating primer. So I am going to be doing both. We're going to be doing the Becca and that Fundamental. I feel like I say that so funny. So, and I'm going to be using the rest of the things that I normally use because I feel like that makes it a kind of fair test using my typical products with it. So I'm going to be using my normal setting powder, setting spray, all that jazz. So I'm super excited to share this with you guys. I'm excited to try this out. If you haven't already known, I am obsessed with foundation, and there will be a lot of foundation reviews on this channel. So, also stay tuned to the end of this video because there will be a super exciting announcement, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. All right, so I'm going to zoom in and let's get into it. Okay, so now that we're zoomed in a little bit, I'm going to go in with the Becca Backlight priming filter, and we're just going to put a little bit of that all over our face. I mean, I said a little bit, but I meant a lot. I'm just gonna rub that in. And you guys may have noticed my face is like 4 times lighter than my body. That is because I self-tan, and my face always lightens fast because I exfoliate. So now we're gonna go in with the Fundamental primer, and I'm gonna use it just like I use my Professional. I'm just going to put it right in the center of my face. Take a little bit of that. It has a lot more of a lotiony kind of feel than I thought it would. Normally I like the kind of like silicone type feeling primers like in my pore area, but let's give this a try. It's got kind of a white color to it. So I normally just do this. little bit right here. We're just gonna press that in. It does feel kind of smoothing, but it's definitely a little bit of a different texture than the typical pore primer I use. Let's see how that worked. Pores don't look too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so next we're going to be going in with the COL-LAB Bright Spark foundation. This is their radiant foundation. They also did have a matte foundation, and they had like a skin tint. So I probably am going to end up trying the matte foundation out too. I typically go for more radiant, but I like to try out matte ones as well and just use like a really good radiant primer. My skin type is more normal to dry. I would just say it's pretty normal most of the time. I'll occasionally get drier patches, but like just overall it's pretty just normal. I am going to be doing a wear test with this, so I will be going through the day and just letting you know how it wears. It's 1040. I'll show you right now. It's 1040, so we're just going to put this on and see what it's like. I'm going to be using the, this is the, words are hard, guys. This is the Sonia Kashuk sponge. It is massive. I normally use a beauty blender or the Real Technique sponge, and lately I've been in love with this. I can't even remember how much it was. Maybe like $8.99 or something like that, but I'm obsessed with this sponge. It's super like big, it's squishy, and still has that same kind of texture of a beauty blender, but I kind of love how it's got this flat side to it, and then it's also got the point. If you guys haven't tried it, I definitely would recommend trying it, especially if you want a beauty blender but you don't want to spend the money. I really like this one. So I took the foundation and just pumped a little bit of it on a top of a candle lid, which is what I use as a palette. And we're just going to go in. The shade probably looks super crazy on my face because, like I said, my face is lighter because I self-tan, but it color looks pretty decent to my neck, so. I always make sure to pull it into my hairline too, just because I am, like I said, lighter. Sorry too if my air conditioning is loud. I turned it down so that it would stop, but it still kept going anyways. The color might be a tad darker than I normally like it to be, but once we put on concealer and all that jazz, it'll even it out. So far I feel like it's giving me a very light coverage. I'm not sure what the coverage claims to be. Let's look up what the coverage is supposed to be of this. So this foundation comes in 10 colors, which is not the best. Definitely think they could have way more colors, and eventually maybe they will come out with more. It looks like their range is pretty good. Even though they only have 10 shade, it looks like it goes from pretty light to pretty dark, which is really cool. Anyways, okay, here we go. So this foundation is $14.99. and it claims to have a smooth and even, it smooths and evens the complexion, low to medium coverage, buildable coverage. It says it's a revolutionary silky smooth formula, seamlessly blends into skin, creating an immaculate complexion with a radiant luminosity. It polishes, smooths, and evens skin for a picture perfect complexion, provides low to medium buildable coverage with a luminous glow. Okay, so it's not supposed to give you full coverage. It's supposed to be a low to medium, so I'm gonna try to build it up to medium. That's what I typically do, is about a medium coverage. It's kind of like my usual. Like I said, the color is a little, now that it's all over my face, it's probably a little darker than I would typically go. You can see the contrast. But once I use my concealer and stuff, like I said, that'll lighten it a little bit. So we're just gonna try to build this up a little bit. I definitely can see my freckles through, and that's okay though. I don't mind if you can see my freckles. I like if it for foundation to just kind of even my complexion. So I'm gonna bring my mirror up close. And let's look and see what this looks like up close. It looks very seamless. Definitely has a slight glow to it. It's nothing crazy, but it looks very seamless on my skin. Yeah, it looks nice. I think it is a little less coverage than I typically would use. I think I normally go a little bit higher than this, but I was able to build it on my forehead to kind of what I want. I think I'm going to try to build it still on my cheeks just a little bit more right here. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so the color is looking a little crazy on camera. It doesn't look that crazy in person, but I am going to take off my necklace and just pull it down my neck a little bit, because that's what you do when you self-tan. You pull your foundation down your neck every single time. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with the concealer since we finished with the foundation and the primer. I'll put those over here. And like I said, the shade that I got was Honey Almond. Just going to put some of this under our eyes. Let's read the claims on this before we go in with it. This was $12.99 and they have 6 colors. They go from pretty light to pretty dark. So considering the range is small, like I said, they do have a pretty good light to dark range, which is nice. So this says it's a buildable to medium full coverage. Guys, I'm really struggling talking today. We're just gonna ignore it, okay? This luxuriously creamy concealer corrects and perfects with light diffusing technology. With COL-LAB's No Flaw Liquid Concealer, it feels smooth and hydrated while looking flawless and fresh. Buildable medium to full coverage with a naturally luminous finish. So I'm liking the medium to full coverage because I always want my under eyes to be covered, always. That's just a non-negotiable. I love to have coverage. Don't want those dark circles out to play. So it is a doe foot applicator, which is what I typically use. And we're just going to put a lot of that on. Let's use my little handy dandy mirror again to look up close. It blended in perfectly. It looks really smooth. I am gonna try to build it a little bit more right in the inner part where the darkness is a little darker. I don't know what it is, but right now my dark circles are out to play. Like, they were kind of fading and they just feel like they got really dark overnight. I make a really cute face while putting concealer on. I also use my concealer as an eyeshadow primer, so we'll see how well my eyeshadow does with it. Overall, everything looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my usual products to complete the face. We're going to use the bareMinerals BarePro Powder in number 9 to set under my eyes. I'm taking the bareMinerals Seamless Shaping and Finishing Brush, and we're gonna set under the eyes with that. I always, if you saw in my other videos, make sure to take my sponge and blend out the concealer. before I powder so that there are no creases that I set into my eyes. The concealer definitely didn't give me as much coverage as I would like under my eyes. I would definitely like a little bit more right here where the darkness is just out to play, but I mean, it still looks really smooth and beautiful. So like I said, my darkness is just a little crazy right now. So now we're gonna go in with the same powder in a darker shade. This is number 12 in Warm Natural. Whoop! And we are going to set the whole face. Okay, now that we are set down, let's look. It looks very smooth and flawless everywhere. The coverage maintained evenly everywhere. I would say if you're looking for, I mean, like we read in the description, it says a low to medium coverage. So if you're looking for a full coverage, definitely not your foundation. And you saw I built it up. So I don't think there's any way to get a full coverage finish from this foundation. But if you like a luminous, sorry, my hair's flying in my face. If you like a light coverage foundation that is gonna give you some glow, that you can build up just a little bit more, so far, I'm digging it. The concealer looks fine, my under eyes look okay, but I would definitely say, like I said before, it doesn't give a ton of coverage. So I built it up even then and it still didn't give me a ton of coverage. So maybe once my dark circles kind of subside a little bit, maybe I'll like it a little bit more, but I'll let you guys know. I'll like leave it down in the description box after I've tried it a couple times and give my thoughts. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my face. I'm just gonna speed through that. And I'll leave the products down below. Oh, before we do that, it is 10:58. So that's, we're just gonna call 11 like the first, like when I finished my makeup. So when we come back, we'll just know the starting time was 11. Okay, so now that I have all of my face products on, sorry you guys, my hair moves like a million times in these videos because I don't like pulling it back. So now that I've finished and put everything on, I'm gonna get up close so you can see what it looks like before I spray it with a setting spray. And now I'm going to set it. Because you can never have too. Okay, so everything blended okay on top of it. I'm not gonna say I'm like in love with it at this current moment. It doesn't look bad by any means, but it doesn't look like mind-blowing either. But it does look good for a foundation, for a drugstore foundation. Biggest thing for me is seeing how it wears. If it doesn't wear all day, it's a no-go. But everything blended fine on top of it. No problems with that, so that's a good thing. Sorry, lighting changing like crazy. So I am going to go ahead and film another video and finish the rest of my eyes and everything else, and I will come back and do another check-in in a little while. All right, see you guys then. Hey guys, so I am back to do a check-in. It has been 5 hours since I applied the foundation. 5 hours and 15 minutes. It is 4:15 right now. So I have been sitting here staring at my foundation, and it is still everywhere I applied it. It is, I mean, it pretty much looks the same. Like, I typically have been getting some kind of creasing around here from my smile lines, and it really hasn't creased at all on my smile lines, which is always a plus. But remember too, it is a low to medium coverage foundation, so I mean, there's not a ton of product for it to crease. But my contour, bronze, highlight, blush, all that is still there, so that's a really good thing. The concealer looks really nice. It hasn't creased at all. I still wish that it covered my circles more than it does, but it still looks really nice, so I think I'm gonna continue to try it out. My pores look pretty dang good. So I mean, overall, so far, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do another check-in because the sun is starting to go down, and I don't really want to do another check-in in the dark. So I might just not do another check-in, just end the video here and leave like in the description box. Sorry, I got distracted by my phone. I'll leave down in my description box if like how the foundation wore by the end of the night, because obviously I'm still gonna wear it till the end of the night. But I don't like recording when the lighting isn't good. So even though I have my ring light, it just doesn't do enough when it's dark anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the foundation. For being a drugstore foundation, it's really, really nice. I do typically like a foundation that's a little more towards medium coverage. I feel like this one leans more towards the light kind of range of things. It doesn't really give you a ton of coverage. I like to be able to build it more if I want to, and it did build okay, but I definitely don't think it's like a medium. I mean, you can still see my freckles on my forehead. You can still see my freckles down here on the sides of my cheeks. You can still kind of see my freckles on my nose. But for a drugstore foundation, primer, and concealer, I'm really impressed at how they've worn, how they look still, and I will definitely be trying more from this brand. I would really love to try the matte foundation since it's a more medium to full coverage, and I'll just use like maybe their hydrating primer underneath it. So that is probably what I will try next, and I'm interested to try their bronzers, powders, lipsticks, all that jazz. Pretty cool that this brand is out, and that is drugstore pricing. I definitely recommend giving it a try, and yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. The only other thing is I filmed 2 other videos in the meantime of filming this video. So the eyeshadow I mentioned in my other video, which is the Modern Renaissance palette versus the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette, and I said that I would leave in this video at the end of it how the eyeshadow wore throughout the day. So I'm going to tell you that now. The verdict is, guys, it's amazing. If you haven't watched that video, I recommend going and watching it so you can see the beginning and kind of see what I'm talking about. But the eyeshadow hasn't faded. It's still there, it's still blended, and I'm super impressed. Wet n Wild, you're killing it. I'm really like proud of you guys because I am amazed at how well this eyeshadow has worn. It hasn't faded like at all. The only thing I would say is the same thing I said in that video. The shimmer shade, I think it's like the Primavera. It's the one that's like the Primavera in the Modern Renaissance. It definitely has faded. It is not as bright and pigmented as the Modern Renaissance shade. I have the Modern Renaissance on this side and the Wet n Wild on this side. So I would recommend, if you guys are looking for a good dupe, go check out that video so you can see the eyeshadow palettes I compared and the colors that I used. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited for more videos. The exciting announcement, I think I mentioned it earlier that there was going to be an exciting announcement. It's been so long since I filmed that video, and I filmed 2 other videos in the meantime since I'm doing this check-in. So I think I said it at the beginning of this video, but the announcement is I have quit my job and I am now working for myself full-time. So I am freelancing full-time and I am super excited about it. I am going to be doing a video, just kind of a Q&A, a little bit all about me and what I do. And if you have any questions for me, make sure you leave them down below. That way I can answer them for you. I am so excited for this new season of life and just excited to see what God has in store and just the places that I can go. I am so passionate about makeup, but I'm passionate about it because it connects me to people, and it's such an opportunity, such an amazing opportunity to be connected with people. I know that there's a lot of crazy things that go on in this world, and sometimes it's easy to get really overwhelmed with a lot of the bad things that happen, but I like to look at all the good things. I definitely consider myself an optimistic, and I just think, you know, the glass is half full. There's just so many good things in it to celebrate about life and to be excited about. So I like celebrating this passion for makeup, but I like how it connects me with people and how it connects me with you guys. So I hope you're excited for the Q&A. I hope you leave me questions down below, and I can't wait to share with you my heart and why I love what I do. So I will talk to you guys later. Make sure to subscribe, follow me on my social media so you can keep up, and I'm excited for new things to come. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.